So today we are going to talk about if coaching is actually worth it. So when you think about it, you look at ads on Facebook, you look at ads on Instagram, there's a lot of coaches out there. There's a lot of coaches, there's a lot of consultants, and there's coaches teaching people how to become coaches, or consultants teaching people how to become consultants. By the way, we have a program for that as well. You start to wonder to yourself, can you actually trust these people? Because sometimes you'll see people running ads on Facebook or on YouTube ads, and these people look like they're fairly young and they're a life coach. And so the question you might be asking yourself is, how can these people become life coaches when they don't have that much life experience? And so you start to wonder. And what ends up happening is a lot of these people, they watch these other coaches teaching people how to become coaches. They go through that course, and then they themselves teach other people how to become coaches as well, and it becomes this self-fulfilling thing. And now, I'm not saying there isn't any value in those programs. I think there certainly is, but I think what tends to happen when the barrier to entry is so low that it's very easy to now create a course and teach anybody how to do things and just charge people maybe a couple $1,000s. It has now become, again, very low barrier to entry. A lot of people can do it. So now the question is, can you trust these people? Who can you trust, right? Of all the people that you're looking at. So the question then is coaching actually worth it? Have I actually been through these programs before? The answer is no. What I can say is the way I've approached coaching or selecting the coaches I've worked with over the years is that I've asked for word of mouth referrals. So I would just say, hey, who do you know that's a good coach? Whether I'm looking to improve fitness, whether I'm looking to improve my diet, or whether I'm just looking to improve how I run my business. There's a lot of different types of coaches, right? And so initially, I remember I had a friend that introduced me to a coach based in New York, and we did this virtual thing. And this is fairly early. I think I was about 27 years old or so, and I think it was like $500 a month or whatever, and it was a weekly call, and each call is about an hour. So I actually got a lot of value for that. This coach would sit with me and put together all these different goals. What are you trying to do long term? Who are you trying to improve your relationships with? There's a lot of these goals, and the coach would hold me accountable to reaching those goals, right? And I would say this was more of an introductory business coach at the time. There would be things that I would look at, and then we would just talk through how I'm approaching these goals and am I getting better or not. And again, this is $500 a month, so you annualize that's about $6,000 for the year. And so as time went on, recently I had a coach who ran a couple of businesses, and he actually used to work for a president as well when he was really young. I just loved his experience. He was great with his family, a great speaker, great at business, and just he had a lot of life experience. And he had me work through his framework, talking about, hey, look, same type of thing. What can I hold you accountable to? What are you looking to accomplish on the personal side, on the business side? And then he'll give me advice as well. And he has a lot of other frameworks that I can follow. And I thought that was great. He was based in the LA area. And that costs $2,500 for 3 calls. All right. So it still wasn't that bad. And, that's how we worked it out. And, when it was time for another 3 calls or 3 meetings, I would go ahead and do it. And sometimes I might even visit him in LA. And that was good. And so I've gone through this progression of different coaches, and now the coach that I work with, I pay it ends up running me about $60,000 or so, $60,000 a year or so. And it's about $5,000 a month. But depends on the stage that you're in, right? The benefit that I've got from my coaches is there's a level of accountability there, and there is a level of therapy there as well. So people are like, oh, I don't need a therapist. I would argue that I think a lot of people, a coach really helps you unveil. If your coach is good at asking questions, they will help you discover patterns that you weren't aware of before. And it's only through these sessions where you work on yourself that you're able to figure out, okay, I used to behave like this when I was a child or growing up, and I see these patterns, and how do these patterns actually apply to real life now? How does this apply to my behavior now? Why am I impatient with people? Why do I lash out, or why am I triggered by certain things? Oftentimes you find out it actually has to do with other things that are connected, but if you don't work on yourself, then you aren't able to get there, right? But again, it all ties back to how you select your coaches. Are coaches worth it? Absolutely. If you know how to select the right ones, you ask word of mouth, and then you vet these people too, just like you're interviewing other people. And then from there, you figure out like, okay, does this person pass the smell test? Has this person been where I'm trying to go? Like, that's important to me. how successful have they been in business, in life, with their family and all that, because I want to be really good at those things too. So I want to be able to talk to somebody who I look up to, who I follow. Now if it actually ends up being someone that is, just starting out in their career, just graduated from college, that's different, right? Because that person doesn't have the life experience and doesn't understand the context that I'm coming from. So it's a different thing. I'm not saying they're bad, it's just not the right fit for me. And so look, is it worth? You might be thinking, oh my God, you're putting in $60,000 a year. That's a lot of money. That is a person's salary right there. Now, here's the thing: if you think about it, if I run multiple businesses and I employ, lots of different people, well, is it worth it if I can invest the $60,000 to perform even better? What kind of effect is that going to have on the businesses that I run, or the types of decisions that I make? Is that worth more than $60,000? I would argue yes, because even if I can get that investment, recover that investment, $60,000, where I make, chances are I'm probably going to make a $60,000 decision, or even if I can get $120,000 back, so I can get 100% of my investment, right? So is that worth it? I think that's how you have to look at it. It's not just, oh, you're spending this person's salary, right? I think a lot of people look at, it's like they just look at the dollar amount and they don't think about, okay, what level, if they're going to invest at, what level of impact, what level of ROI are they going to get back? And that's how you have to think about it. And if you're starting out, there's a lot of coaches around the world where you can pay $100, $200, $300 a month or so, and then start to work your way up. And as you grow more and more, maybe you have different needs. And I know a lot of people that have, they have coaches they have language coaches, they might have cooking coaches, they might have nutrition coaches, they might have fitness coaches as well. It just helps you get to another level, because when you have performance coaches, look, Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, they both work with Tim Grover. And that trainer, Tim, he helped take him, I think it's Tim, helped take him to another level. Michael Jordan first worked with him first, basketball player. And then, when Kobe asked, hey, like, who should I work with? Michael referred him over to Tim. And so there's a time and there's a place, absolutely, because when you look at all these successful sports teams, they not only have the head coach, but they have multiple coaches. And I keep saying the word coaches over and over and over now, but there is a time and place for it. But even those people, they have the experience, right? So what you got to look for is, is it worth it? I think that's the wrong question to ask. It's, what are you trying to accomplish first? Do they have the experience that you're looking for? And do I think, then after you ask those two questions, is the juice going to be worth the squeeze? Am I going to get a return on investment on this, right? Because not only are you putting in money, but you're putting in time as well. And I can tell you, the money I've been putting in right now, it's well worth it, because for me, I kind of alluded to earlier, I'm discovering a lot of different patterns that I haven't worked on before, and to be able to understand those patterns and to be able to understand what triggers me, that will help me tweak how I behave in the future. And I can have a lot more productive conversations with people. My behavior will be changed as well. And to me, that is worth its weight in gold. So let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're coming from YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button, because it helps us grow. And we'll see you tomorrow.